We use the Black Panther as our symbol because of the nature of a panther. Panther doesn't strike anyone, but when he's assailed upon, that he'll back up first. But if the aggressor continues, then he'll strike out.
In American history, few groups have been responsible for both preschool lunch programs and dramatic militantism. One of the only groups capable of this feat was the Black Panther Party, which was born out of the conflicts of black civil rights in the 1960s and killed by the inability to compromise with itself and the world around it. This revolutionary party, with their endless determination and spirit, produced controversies all over the country with implications lasting into the modern era. In 1966, the Black Panther Party was established by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in Oakland, California. Igniting change in the conflicts of oppressed black communities was the forefront goal of the party. In addition, they fought for the equality of other minorities who faced oppression in their communities.
We wanted to end racism. We wanted to end war. We wanted to end sexism. We wanted to end homophobia.
Through the knowledge of their constitutional rights, specifically the Second Amendment, the Panthers were able to arm themselves to combat police brutality and the many social injustices facing blacks within Oakland.
Yes, California Penal Code Section 12020 through 12027, and also the Second Amendment of the Constitution guarantees the citizen a right to bear arms on public property.
This knowledge prompted the Panthers to have an intimidation factor toward the police. Because the ability to combat police brutality was so revolutionary within Oakland, the party and its culture spread to cities all over the United States, allowing communities of blacks to feel safe. However, the party was not always viewed so kindly. Party members who failed to compromise at times resorted to aggression over diplomacy. In 1969, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover denounced the party as the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. Hoover took issue with the black civil rights at large. Therefore, the radical and ambitious Panthers stood little chance against his best efforts to sabotage and subvert the party.
What is the answer?
The answer is vigorous law enforcement.
That's the only answer.
That's the only answer.
How about justice? You hear a lot about justice with law enforcement.
Justice is merely incidental to law and order.
At first, women in the Black Panther Party were subjugated to the role of followers. Despite initial inequality, the Panthers eventually called for men and women to work together for the preservation of African American culture and community. A compromise between men and women was necessary in the eyes of the Panthers. If they preached equality between races, why exclude equality between sexes?
Everybody knows that all the people don't have liberties, all the people don't have freedom, and all the people don't have power, so that means none of us do.
This allowed for young, influential women like Erica Huggins to assume a leadership role. As the leader of the Los Angeles chapter of the Black Panther Party at only 18 years old, she formed political education classes and breakfast programs for children. After the death of her husband, she left for New Haven, Connecticut. She soon helped to instrument the legitimization of the New Haven chapter of the Black Panther Party. Despite her efforts, she would soon find herself in the conflicts of the New Haven Black Panther trials involving Alex Rackley's murder. Black Panther members were extremely committed to their party. Therefore, a watchful eye was given to any new members. Hoover's FBI constantly attempted to infiltrate the party to obtain information and gain awareness of their activity. One member from New York, 19-year-old Alex Rackley, was accused of being such an FBI informant. Rackley had been under suspicion since his connection to rumors and questionable loyalty while staying in New York City. In May 1969, Rackley was brought to the New Haven Black Panther headquarters where he was interrogated for 2 days. 3 main party members involved were George Sams Jr., Warren Kimbrough, and Lonnie McLucas. At the time, National Party leader Bobby Seale was giving a speech at Yale University. Heading the interrogation, Sams gave orders to Kimbrough and McLucas to tie up Rackley and pour boiling water on him. However, he claimed that it was Bobby Seale who, while visiting the headquarters after his speech, gave the command to execute Rackley. The next day, Sams led the men with Rackley to nearby Middlefield, where Rackley was shot and left in the Coggin-Jog River. Once the body was found, the New Haven police invaded the Black Panthers' headquarters and arrested 9 members they believed were involved with the murder. They became known as the New Haven Nine. As a leader of the party, Erica Huggins knew her own members. However, George Sams, who had just arrived to New Haven with Rackley, provoked unwanted violence and induced his dominance over the other members.
George Sams brought Alex Rackley to the party office. I knew Lonnie McLucas was a really wonderful member of the Black Panther Party chapter in New Haven. And so I knew him because he quietly did his work. George Sams positioned himself and, let's say, postured with a way that he was the leader. He knew everything. And so if Lonnie and or anybody else listened to him, it was because he was himself so aggressive and violent. Alex Rackley was a quiet, almost silent young man. And I could tell that he was being held in a certain way by George Sams, like held against his will.
Sams and Kimbrough pled guilty for their involvement in the murder case with a plea bargain. A series of trials beginning with McLucas would be carried out. The plan was to first convict McLucas so all other Panthers would be easily convicted. Ultimately, the goal was to convict Erica Huggins, the leader for the New Haven Black Panther chapter, and Bobby Seale, the party national leader. One Harvard reporter who attended the trials concluded, "Black people are probably one of the groups in the United States who experience oppression most severely, who have the least opportunity to control their own lives." The trials attracted enormous attention. On May Day, 1970, 15,000 members from the Panther Party and their supporters came to New Haven to protest the trial. Yale opened its gates to the crowds, and many students joined the protest. Because of anti-Vietnam War riots in Harvard, New Haven prepared for violence with police and the National Guard present.
The only thing we knew was that there was a situation where they expected some violence and they wanted some more protection, and I knew the police were going to be there, but they needed somebody to support everybody else. Nothing did happen. We were prepared if it was going to happen, but it never did, thankfully. So nobody got hurt. There was some people threw some pain at us, I guess, but that was it. No shots were fired, and a lot of it was because they were able to sit down with people from Yale University and come up with some decisions.
Kimbrough, McLucas, and Sams all received prison sentences, but the Seale and Huggins trials proved more problematic, with the jury selection taking 4 months. At a faculty meeting, Yale president Kingman Brewster Jr. stated, "I am skeptical of the ability of black revolutionaries to achieve a fair trial anywhere in the United States." The case sparked protests, unprecedented security precautions, the longest ever jury selection process in state history, and national debate over the ability of a black revolutionary to receive a fair trial. After long deliberation, the jury became deadlocked, unable to resolve the conflict. Judge Harold M. Mulvey was expected to call for a retrial. Instead, he dismissed the charges against Seale and Huggins. "I find it impossible to believe that an unbiased jury could be selected without superhuman efforts which this court, the state, and these defendants should not be called upon either to make or to endure." Judge Harold M. Mulvey. The Black Panther Party endured conflict throughout its entire lifespan. Events such as the New Haven trials were not isolated. Muddled with biases on both sides, neither the Panthers nor those who opposed them could come to an agreement with what the party's true goal was. Thus, tragedy such as the death of Alex Rackley and so many others within America occurred due to the inability to compromise. The party disbanded in 1982, and sadly, events such as those that occurred to Huey Newton still occurred in today's society. Police brutality remains an issue within the black community in America. However, the Panthers have left a lasting impact on our society, and the culture surrounding them still rallies, as well as divides American citizens to this day.